Now, Tiger Brands, Africa's biggest packaged food company, is planning to sell its businesses hit by the deadly Listeriosis outbreak around 4 years ago. The company says any potential liability or monetary settlement under an ongoing class action lawsuit launched by the human rights attorney Richard Spoor on behalf of the families of the victims will not transfer to the new owners of the meat processing businesses. So how does the law firm handling all of this feel about it? Alexander Spoor from Richard Spoor Attorneys joins us now via Skype on Lunchtime. Alexander, good afternoon to you. In terms of this deal, first of all, how much notice were you given, and in any way does this impact on the current case?
Thanks, Jeremy. We found out about it through news reports like the general public. We do agree, though, with the statements from Tiger Brands. The sale of the factory does not affect the liability of the parent company here. So in terms of going after Tiger Brands and their liability for the total quantum of damages, whether they sell the factory or not, should have no bearing on the ability to recover these damages from Tiger.
You do have some issue with Tiger Brands right now. You filed an application, I understand, to compel discovery by the company. Your claim is that they are delaying the matter. In what respect?
Jeremy, we launched summons over 2 years ago. In March 2018, the NICD confirmed that the Polokwane factory was responsible for an outbreak of listeria. They sequence typed this to an ST6 listeria outbreak. Over this period, over the last 2 years, we have been preparing for trial. Part of that process is this discovery process, which essentially entails the provision of all relevant documentation to the matter. There are rules of court which govern this, providing the party with time to make discovery. Tiger, there was a discussion between the parties that we would provide them with time and a commitment to make discovery by May of this year. Unfortunately, Tiger Brands has come back, put up their hands and said, sorry, we can't provide you with this documentation. But worse than that, they tell us we can't even reasonably give you a date to provide the documentation. And of course, in the absence of that documentation, the expert reports that we need to create and prepare by geneticists, epidemiologists, food health specialists are all put on hold. We think this is completely unreasonable. And a large basis of that unreasonableness is not only this 2-year period over which Tiger Brands has had ample opportunity to deal with the underlying documentation, but that statutorily Tiger Brands is obliged to keep and maintain certain documentation, just like a company must maintain financial records. Tiger Brands must maintain a food, health, and safety system which is auditable. And we want those records, and there's simply no reasonable explanation for why they cannot provide those.
So you filed the application. Where does that stand right now? And I presume that Tiger Brands would have an opportunity to reply to that.
Yes. Well, where we are now, Jeremy, I mean, we've made an application. Tiger Brands has replied, and we have now answered to that. The next step will really be to set the matter down. There, we will approach the judge to have the matter heard on an expedited basis. The matter is currently case managed, which assists in this process, but we want to have it heard and put before a court as soon as possible.
And this, of course, is of no comfort at all to the families who were involved in all of this.
Jeremy, that's true. In litigation, this sort of approach where we think it is delay is the oldest trick in the book, and it causes massive harm. We know our clients, hundreds of families, but thousands of individuals were deeply affected by this, livelihoods destroyed. And they've been sitting, some since early 2017, with no compensation, no interim compensation provided. So on the litigation front, we are having a lot of trouble here. We feel we've hit a brick wall and we're forced to move to the courts. But there are some positive signs, and we think we are seeing some light here with a willingness from Tiger. There are discussions happening, and we think there are indications that Tiger does want to see this thing come to an end. And though they take a litigation strategy, which we think is delaying the process, we remain hopeful that they will be doing the right thing and will compensate our clients and will act to do that speedily. It's unfortunate that it has taken up until now to see these sort of movements.
Alexander Spoor from Richard Spoor Incorporated Attorneys, thank you very much for joining us. Just to tell you, we did reach out to Tiger Brands yesterday. We wanted to speak to the Chief Executive Officer. We were told that he was in meetings.